Hi, it's Fionna Gossling from Royal LePage in Oakville, and I'm back with your February monthly update of what happened in Oakville Real Estate in February 2019. So this slide is showing us what happened in February 2019 compared to February 2018. So it's a year-over-year comparison, and we're talking about the number of sales, or when we're talking about the number of sales, you can see that we were down about 30%. So this past month, we had 162 total units sold, so that's condominium, detached, and townhouses. We had 132 sales. A year ago in February, we had 231 sales. We had slightly fewer units to choose from this month, so 722 versus 778, and our months of inventory were up. And that's what indicates whether it's a buyer's market, a seller's market, or a balanced market. And 4.5 months of inventory is a balanced market still, but when we get into later slides, I'll talk a little bit more about why that number is important and what you need to know about it. Our average sale price was down very slightly to down minus 3% to $977,000, and our days on market were up a little bit, so it's taking slightly longer to sell a house. This slide gets more interesting as the year goes on, but I wanted to be able to show what was happening month over month so you could have that comparison and start to see trends as to what was happening. So you can see here we had more sales in February than we had in January, which is very, very typical. And traditionally, we will start to see more sales happening in March, April, and May as we get into the busy spring market. I think part of the slow sales in February can be attributed to the terrible weather that we've had as well, and the number of snow days that we've had and people just not being able to get out of the house in general. But we'll see as the year goes on there. You can see in February we had more units available, so more to choose from. And again, that's typical of the spring market starting to pick up, more people start to list. Our months of inventory has increased, which makes sense because months of inventory is calculated by the number of sales versus the number of properties on the market. And our average sale price is down just a little bit. Median sale price is pretty much the same month over month. And days on market is down, so that's a good sign. This one's my favorite slide because it actually gives you a sense of what's happening. So depending on if you're buying a detached home, a townhouse, or a condo, the market's very different and it's moving at a different pace. So what you can see from this, or what this slide tells us, is that there were 85 detached homes sold in Oakville in February. We had, if you were shopping for a detached home, there were 442 to choose from. And that means that there's 5.2 months of inventory, which is a buyer's market if you're looking for a detached home. The average sale price was $1.264, and it took about 30 days to sell your home on average in that segment of the market. So what's interesting in this slide compared to previous months is the townhouse and condominium figures. So in recent months, there have only been about 2 months of inventory in both of those categories. So it was still very much a seller's market there. And you can see from this slide, it slipped into a balanced market at 4.5 and 4.6 months of inventory. So there, if you are selling or buying a condo and a townhouse now, that market has shifted a little bit, and that's important to know. You can also see that the average sale price is $841,000 for a townhouse or $466,000 for a condo. And obviously that is very dependent on what it is you're buying and what area that you're buying in. Days on market, it takes a little bit longer, but that would also be, certainly for a condominium, you're going to want to review the condominium documents if you were buying something, and that can take up to 10 days to have that document produced. So it's pretty much 30 days on the market to the point where you get an accepted offer in place. These slides I'll just go through very quickly, but they show the historic sale price for detached homes in Oakville going back to 2017. So you can start to see a trend both in the average sale price and also in the median sale price. And I have slides like this on my website at fionnagosling.com/market update for all of these. So this is freehold townhouses, and condominium apartments. Because real estate is so neighborhood specific, this is really important information to look at as well. And this slide you can find on my website as well. It's going to break down the number of sales that have actually happened in each particular neighborhood, the average number of days on market, the average sale price as well as the median sale price, and the average sold to list ratio. So if you are interested in what's happening in your particular neighborhood, have a look here. Don't hesitate to give me a shout. I'm happy to talk to you specifically about what's been going on in your neighborhood and let you know some recent sales if you're thinking about selling, or if you're thinking about buying in a particular neighborhood, I'd be happy to give you an update as to what's going on in that pocket. Talk to you next month.